Welcome to the session today. Today is our first session. I'm going to give you the demo. What are the course content that we're going to discuss? And the very first thing what I will do is like today, how to create a free tier account in the GCP. That is what is the agenda today. And first, I will also tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss in our session. Okay, so all the things related to the course content, and after that I will tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP. First, let us understand what is a Google Cloud Platform, guys. Okay, so GCP, what is GCP? Okay, so we are seeing nowadays cloud platforms become very famous because cloud platforms are mainly responsible for the cloud computing. Okay, so all the computation required for the data engineering or Kubernetes or application development, everything will be taken care by the cloud platform itself. Likewise, in the Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider like AWS and Azure. So it is also providing you the cloud computing services. Okay. If we have to say what are the services that the GCP is providing, okay, in terms of a data engineering, you can look at the databases that it is providing, and also big data tools, big data processing tools, so many other. So these are the things that the Google Cloud provides. For example, there is a compute engines, Kubernetes engines, app engines, like with cloud functions, serverless platforms, fully managed services. Okay, so all of these things that the Google Cloud platform is providing for us. Okay, in our session, what we are going to discuss this, let me open a OneNote where I'll tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss in our session and a later point of time. So if you guys have any questions, I will we will spend the time to discuss discuss if you guys have any questions. And let me tell you what is the course content first. So here is the course content, guys. So as we already know, as I mentioned, Google Cloud Platform is providing a pool of cloud computing services such as Google storage and database services, as well as big data services. Okay, here also you can see Google big data services. Okay, so in our session, what we are going to discuss is these are the things that we are going to discuss in our session, guys. Google storage and database services. Okay, the very first service that is what we are going to discuss is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Why it is important? What kind of a tool it is? What kind of a data it is going to store? All the things related to the Google Cloud Storage. And not only that, very important things about is like security aspect, because Google Cloud is one of the scalable and secured platform. So when you say secure platform, how do you make sure that it is secure? So with the help of the access control, with the help of the retention policies, with the help of the bucket access. So all of these things we are going to discuss. And after that, we are going to look at the cloud SQL. Okay. For that one, let me actually open my pen. Database services. Okay. This is one point where we will be able to learn storage and database services. Okay, in this one, we are going to first see Google Cloud Storage. Yes, Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake in the GCS. GCP. So we are going to learn all the concepts related to the GCP. So it is acting as a data lake. So we will learn what is a data lake, why it is a Google Cloud Storage is having a considered as a data lake here, how much amount of data we can store in the Google Cloud Storage, all of those things we will see. Okay, and we will see practically how to create a bucket and how to upload objects and how to work with the Google Cloud Storage with from the Cloud Shell or Linux commands. So all of those things we will see, guys. And one more thing. So this is a storage perspective. What about the database perspective? So for the RDBMS solutions, RDBMS, we have Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner, guys. So we have two services which are considered as the RDBMS solutions, Cloud SQL as well as Cloud Spanner. What is this Cloud SQL, guys? Cloud SQL is one of the fully managed services provided by the GCP for running the MySQL database, MySQL engines, as well as PostgreSQL engines, as well as SQL Server. That means if you have a on-premises MySQL, if you wanted to migrate it to the same MySQL with the same version to the cloud, you have these services available, readily available, guys. Okay, so this is a Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner that we are going to see in our sessions. Instead, I would say here like this. Storage services. We have here RDBMS. In RDBMS, we have first one Cloud SQL, second one is Cloud Spanner. Okay, these are the two services comes under RDBMS. What about a NoSQL databases, guys? If you ask me, so in a NoSQL databases, we have a big table. NoSQL databases. So we have big table, and we have one more thing called data store. Okay, so these are the two databases acting as a NoSQL databases in the GCP. One is big table, one more is data store, guys. Okay, so these are all storage and database services. Okay, what is one is Google Cloud Storage, one more is Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner, and the third one is a big table and data store. So these are the Google Cloud Storage and database services. Okay. So what about the other big data tools that we are learning, sir? If you ask me, the big data tools that we are learning here is because we do get the data from a multiple data sources, right? We do get the data from multiple data sources. Once the data from a multiple data sources we have, we are going to first send it to the storage layer or a data lake or a staging layer. Once we have the data in the staging layer, we wanted to send the data to where, guys? We wanted to send the data to send that data to the data warehouse. After that, there will be a different users will be there. Either it will be an ad hoc request, or it will be a reporting purposes, or it will be a business manager asking for a requirement. So there will be different requirements. So based on those requirements, we are going to create some insight tables on the data warehouse. Those will be used for the reporting purposes, or those will be used for the decision making purpose. Okay, so this is how it looks like this. If I wanted you to understand clearly, so here data will be first ingested into the data lake. So here it can be an RDBMS. It can be a web server on an application. It can be a web server or an application, guys. Or it can be a CSV file from an application or IoT data from an IoT application. So you get a data from a multiple data sources. You try to ingest the data into the data lake. So this is your data lake, guys. You try to ingest the data into the data lake, and once you have the data in the data lake, you try to first send the data to the where, guys. You try to process the data and send it to the data warehouse. Okay, what you are doing, guys, here, you are trying to process the data. Okay, process the data, transform the data, clean the data, whatever the things you name it, all of those things, guys. Okay, you try to process the data and send it to the data warehouse. Finally, as per the business requirements, it will be creating a ML models. There will be a dashboard requirements. There will be ad hoc requirements. So based on the BA requirements or ML or some ad hoc requirement. Ad hoc. Okay. So this is how it will be, guys. Okay. So this is what is a typical architecture of a data world, guys. In a data engineering, what we will do in a high level, if you want you to understand, this is what we do, guys. So we will be working on an ingestion process. Here it is a source, guys. You can think this is a source. Okay. From source to the staging or a data lake. People call it as a storage layer. Okay. And here we are going to do what, guys? Ingestion, right? Ingestion or collecting the data. And what we are doing is we are doing process. What we are doing in a data warehouse, we are trying to analyze the data, transform or analyze, right? Transform, finally analyze. Analysis. So this is what I am calling, what you know, guys. This is what is mean by a data life cycle. In a data life cycle, you're gonna get the data from a source. You do the ingestion into a storage layer, and you do processing on top of it to clean the data, prepare the data. You do some transformations on top of it, and you try to analyze the data to improve your business. So this is what is called as a data life cycle. In a data life cycle, ingesting the data, collecting or ingesting the data, and storing the data, processing or transforming the data, finally analysis, or you can also say dashboards, report creation. You can also say report creation, reporting. Okay. Reporting. Okay. So this is what is the typical life cycle, data life cycle, guys. In a data life cycle, this from the source to the finally reporting, that is where your destination is, right? You are going to create some dashboards, or you have a table that you can directly do the analysis, or you ingest the data and finally store it in a one, instead of a storage layer, you can just mention it as a storage layer. Storing, data storing. Okay. Okay, this is what it is, a typical architecture. In this one, what you are doing, you are having a data sources from here, and you are ingesting into the data lake, and from the data lake to the data warehouse. Finally, you will be having a different requests. So based on this one. So in a data life cycle, these are the processes that you are coming up with, guys. In this one, you see, you are having a source, sorry. You are having a source, ingesting, storing, processing, as well as transforming the data. So this is what is a typical architecture. It will be real. This architecture is very helpful for you to understand the data engineering, guys. But here, what are the RDBMS? So, okay, sir, this is a data engineering life cycle. But you tell me, what are the RDBMS technologies that we are going to learn in our sessions? If you ask me that question, okay, so here I have mentioned here RDBMS, Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner. Sometimes it can be a non-RDBMS as well, nothing but a NoSQL databases as well. That can be a big table or a data store. Okay, sir, for ingestion purpose, what are the tools that we are using, sir? There are plenty of the tools for the ingestion purpose. People are using the PubSub, people are using the Kafka connector. We are going to learn the PubSub, guys. Okay, what about the data lake, sir? As a data lake, we are learning the Google Cloud Storage, guys. Okay, what is the data lake, sir? In GCP, we are learning the Google Cloud Storage that is acting as a data lake. Okay, and after that, we wanted to do some processing on top of it, right? This is also very important step, guys. This is not the very simple step. Processing. What are the processing tools that we are going to learn in our session? If you ask me, I want to mention those points here. Okay, data processing services. Data processing services, that first thing we are going to learn is data proc for Hadoop and Spark environment. Data flow for Apache Beam with Apache Beam programming model. Data fusion for creating a data pipelines without writing any code. One more is Cloud Composer, nothing but Airflow environment, managed Airflow instance, guys. For creating a DAGs. It is a workflow orchestration tool where you create a DAGs with the help of the Python coding, guys. Very important tool. Okay, you're gonna look at the PubSub, and so these are the data processing systems that you are going to learn in our session, guys. Okay, so this is what I call as a data processing tool. Data processing tools in GCP. Okay, so if you wanted to process the data, okay, you can use these many tools according to your requirements, sir. If I wanted to work with the data, if I wanted to work with the Hadoop environment and Spark environment, then you go for the data proc. If you wanted to work with a serverless platform and Apache Beam programming model, then you go for the data flow. You don't wanted to create a data pipe. You wanted to create a data pipeline, but you don't wanted to write any code. You wanted to create a pipeline and do the transformations without writing any code. That's where you have to go for the data fusion, guys. And one more thing, you have a plenty of workflows with you, and you wanted to manage all the workflows, schedule them, manage them, and even if something goes wrong, also if you wanted to take care of the fixing the problems, issues, you can look at the logs. So all of those things, if you wanted to have, you can go to the Cloud Composer, that is the Airflow manager instance, where you will be able to have plenty of options available. You can schedule the pipelines, you can monitor the pipelines, you can create the DAGs, you can do anything in there. And one more thing is a PubSub is an big data ingestion tool, where you will be able to streaming data ingestion tool, where you will be able to create a topic and subscription for each and every application where you wanted to get the data. So a message will be pushed to the topic, and via subscription data will be reached to the final application. So this is what is a data processing tools, guys. Okay. And after that, okay, after that, not only this one, so for example, in your company, you wanted to do some kind of a triggering. For example, think that in your data warehouse, you have created one table, and that table is having a lot of problems. Okay, if problems are more than one, you wanted to get an email alert. Okay, what do you wanted to do, sir? If a problem has, if the issues are more than one, you wanted to get an email alert. Okay, that is one thing. And one more requirement is like you are creating a data bucket in the Google Cloud Storage, and there will be a file uploaded. As soon as the file is uploaded to the data lake, you wanted to send it to the data warehouse by doing some transformations. Okay, so that is where one more you wanted to trigger an event. So if you wanted to do some kind of event based things in the GCP, you have a cloud functions readily available, guys. It is a serverless platforms. You can go for event based things. That is also we are learning, guys. Cloud functions very important tool. This is also okay. The cloud functions also we are learning. And if you wanted to manage the user and access, identity and access management, user and project management. If you wanted to manage your project and user access, that's where you have a very bigger tool. It will be available in all the cloud platforms. That is IAM, guys, very important. In IAM, what is a user, what is a user account, what is a service, what is a service account, and what is a role, what is a permission, everything, each and everything, because this will be very helpful for those who wanted to manage the access. Because as a 3 years, 4 years experience, guys, or more than that, we need to understand at least who should be having access to what. Okay, who should be having access to what and what kind of actions he can do it in that particular service. Unnecessarily, we don't want it to provide access to anyone, right? So that is where we will be taking care of all the user access as well as the project management with help of the IAM. IAM is a very authorization tool, I would say. Authorization tool in the GCP, not only in the GCP, it will be available in the AWS as well as Azure as well. Okay, identity access management, guys, that is also we are learning in the GCP. Hello everyone, good morning, welcome to the session today. Hope you guys any can see in data lake modernization in the GCP. This is my notes, guys. Where is that? Okay, basics. Yeah. So this is what it is, a data lake. I hope you guys can see my screen clearly. Okay. So usually you get a data from a multiple data sources. So in a data lake, the data lake should be withstand to store any amount of data that is coming from a multiple data sources, and it should not restrict any data format. It should allow any data format to be stored, any amount of data to be stored, and it should be scalable platform and also secured platform. Okay, so that is what is a data lake. A data lake is a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data. And what kind of data we can store, guys? Any kind of data we can store here. Okay, and do we have any restriction on the number of files that we can store here? No, there is no restriction on the number of files that we can store in the data lake. Okay, and it is a scalable and secured platform, right? So this is what is the definition of a data lake. Now let us see data lakes using a GCS. In a Google Cloud platform, we have Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake. What is that? Let us see now. Okay, so this is Google Cloud Storage is as a data lake in the GCP. So what is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? So let me go to the print and try to explain you guys one by one. So from today, from the very first topic that we are going to see is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Let us see first. Okay, so Google Cloud Storage is one of the fully managed services in the GCP. What is this one, sir? One of the fully managed services in the GCP. What do you mean by that, sir? What is mean by fully managed service? Sir, I want you to understand understand what is meant by fully managed. For very first thing, I will try to tell you, sir, if you go to any cloud platform, okay, if you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into two things. One is managed instance, okay, not managed, virtual machine. Second one is managed instance, and third one is serverless. Okay, sir, VM based. People call it as a VM based. Okay, these are the three categories. If you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into three. One is VM based services. One more is managed services or fully managed services, and third one is serverless. What do you mean by that, sir? In a VM based services, okay, for example, look at your laptop. In your laptop, if you wanted to work with any of the Python coding, or if you wanted to develop one application, what do, sir? You manually download one software like Python application, and you will provide some resources to that, and you will try to install that, and after that you go for the application development. What do you one by one? Develop the solution on top of the application, develop application services, and you have to manage some amount. Now, sir, it is now I understand that it is a fully managed services, so the infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP. That is fine. So now tell me, what kind of a service that the Google Cloud Storage is? What is the main intention of having a Google Cloud Storage in the GCP? So if you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Okay, sir, what kind of a service it is, sir? If you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Sir, what kind of a data I can store here? Sir, what format data I can store here? Sir, how many files I can store here? Okay, sir, how much amount of data I can store here? Okay, so sir, it is a fully managed service. It is a service, I would say. It is, instead of that, a service for storing and retrieving the data. So when I say talking about storing and retrieving the data, how much data I can store, any amount of data, any number of files, any format data, any kind of a data, we can able to store in the GCS, guys. Okay. So this is what is the main intention. What is the purpose of a Google Cloud Storage? If you ask me, it is a storage and retrieving tool. You can store any amount of data, any number of files, and if you wanted and need to have if you wanted to have the data to be retrieved at some point of time, you can also retrieve this data. Okay. So this is what it is. And one more thing. So how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Okay, sir, it is a fully managed, that is fine, and the purpose of the service is also fine, but how it operates? Okay, how it operates? Sir, it operates via bucket and files. Okay, which operates via bucket and files. Sir, some people does not know what is a bucket. I want you to understand this terminology now. Okay. Sir, what is a bucket? Sir, a bucket is a container. The terminology is this one, sir. Bucket is nothing but a container, or if you does not know what is a container also, you can think of your folder. Okay, a container is not, a bucket is nothing but a container, and terminology for the object is nothing but a file of any format. Okay, so this is what is the terminology, sir. Now you will understand. So in a Google Cloud Storage, we are storing something and we are retrieving the something. So how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Sir, in a Google Cloud Storage, it operates via bucket and objects. I should mention here objects, not files, because the terminology is an object. Okay, it operates via bucket and objects. Okay, what is a bucket? A container or a folder. What is an object? A file of any format. So what does that mean, sir? If it is operating via bucket and object, do I have to create a bucket to store the objects? Yes. So you have to create, we have to create to store the objects. Okay, we have to create a bucket. We have to create a bucket. So any number of buckets you can create it, any number of files you can upload it to one bucket. So this is what is it. This is how the Google Cloud Storage operates, guys. Okay, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, sir? A Google Cloud Storage operates via bucket and objects. So in a terminology, what is a bucket, sir? A bucket is nothing but a container, and an object is a file of any format. And we have to create, if I wanted to store some data, what I have to do, sir? If I wanted to store some data inside a Google Cloud Storage, what I have to do? I have to go to the Google Cloud Storage and try to create a bucket, and inside that I can upload the objects. What do you mean by objects, sir? It is nothing but a data, nothing but a file, right? So this is what is, it is how operates. Sir, so far everything seems good. The fourth point I want you to understand that it allows, Google Cloud Storage allows worldwide storage and retrieval. Okay, that means, what does that mean, sir? I do not know. One more basic concept it is coming, sir. You have to understand, there is a concept of region, multi-region, multi-region, and one more thing is a region, multi-region, dual region. Okay, so this is what, if it is allowing a worldwide storage and retrieval, what does that mean, sir? At any location you can able to store the data, at any, from any other location you will be able to retrieve the data, but you have to select a proper region and multi-region and dual region. According to that, if you wanted to store and retrieve the data within the region, you can go for the within the region option, and if you go to the multi-region, the data will be retrieved across all the regions, and dual region means within two regions. Okay, we will see this difference. Okay, this is actually takes some time, so we will see this difference tomorrow. Okay, what is the main intention of having a regional storage and multi-regional storage and dual region storage? Because there is a difference between them, and there is an advantage also there, and there is a cost in terms of a cost also. You can look at it, guys. If I go to the region, the cost will be little lesser. When I say dual region, the cost will be little higher. If I go to a multi-region, the cost will be little more higher. And we will see that tomorrow, the main difference, why it is. So that is one thing that we will see tomorrow, guys. The fifth point is, as I told you, scalable and secured platform. What does that service, sir? It is a one more final point, sir. It is a scalable and secured platform. So we will see what is meant by secured platform. And I just want you to give you an overall heads up to the Google Cloud Storage. Now you got it. What is a Google Cloud Storage? The only thing you have to understand today is that what is a Google Cloud Storage and what is the main purpose of having it, who will be taking care of the resources here, and how it operates, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, and what kind of a tool it is, whether it is a storage, worldwide storage or a trivial service, and whether can we go for a secure, whether it is a secure platform and scalable platform or not. This is the only point you have to understand, guys. Tomorrow we will see how to create a bucket. Inside that, all these things, like when I say secure platform, right? So we can able to say access control and very basic concepts we are going to see tomorrow. Object versioning. What is mean by all of this terminology? We will see retention policy, these services. There, okay. But you have to work with the yes. So that process. Okay. Post and you see the material for the Google Cloud Storage tomorrow. Today we have seen, right? What is the Google Cloud Storage? This is access to my notes I will give you, sir. What is a GCS? How to create a bucket? All the concepts, high level concepts. And note, oh, here I have mentioned, sir, whenever you use any service in the Google Cloud platform, okay, this is one more thing, two costs associated. One is storage cost, retrieval cost. Tomorrow we will see this point. Okay, so these notes I will provide it to you guys. Okay, I will provide access to my notebook. This is my OneNote notebook. We will be having all of these things here only. So I will provide access to that. And so that for that one, I want everyone to complete your registrations. Then only there will be a group created. There I will provide the link for that so that you will be able to access it. And access also not provided to all guys, only for those who have registered. And if I got an email from the team, I will provide access to that particular email. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So please complete your registration tomorrow. So please remember, make me remember, sir. Tomorrow, first thing we will create a bucket. We will create an account. Okay. Later only we will see the rest of the things. Yeah. Because it's already 8:20. Even I am having some other tasks. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Hope you learned something today. So I want you to learn everything, almost everything, every day, whatever we are speaking. If you are unable to understand, please try to ask me. So that wouldn't be a problem. You can raise a question. You can raise anything. If you wanted to see a real-time things also, you can do. Okay. Complete your registration to get the notes, guys. Okay. Thank you all. Hope you learned something today. Thank you all. Hello guys, very good morning everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to the session today. So let us start the session. If you remember, yesterday we had discussed about the introduction of the Google Cloud Storage, right? What is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? Google Cloud Storage is one of the fully managed service. What does that mean? One of the fully managed means fully managed is nothing but all the resources required for the managing the files as well as storing the files and retrieving will be taken care by the GCP itself. We need not to worry about that thing. The only thing we have to worry about is like how to create a bucket and how to upload a file. And after that, how to make sure the data is controlled and need not to worry about to achieve it, sir. That we can store here. And how the Google Cloud Storage operates. Okay. So now let us see. Let me go to the console and tell you how to create a bucket and how to interact with the. And while creating a bucket, what are the things that we have to take care? One by one, we will see. And likewise, how to create a bucket from the command line tool. That means with the help of the commands, with the help of the Linux commands, how to create a bucket also we will see. Okay, all of these things one by one we will see. Okay, For that one, let me go to my let me go the console. Okay. Login in. I am logging into my console, guys. Google Cloud. Okay, so let me first give you an introduction to the Google Cloud platform here, the interface. So when you logged into your Google Cloud, so this is how the interface looks like. Okay, in the interface top left, you will be able to see all the services. This is your navigation menu where you will be able to see all the list of services or the products available in the Google Cloud. Okay, so this is one thing. And one more thing, once you have here, so everything is worked via project, guys. Okay, this is something that we are going to start maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow about what is a project and how to interact with all of these things. We will see tomorrow, guys. But for now, just understand that. So when you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, okay, when you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, we have to enter, we have to select a proper project. Either we have to select an existing project or we can create a new project. Okay, how to create a new project, guys? Click on this new project. You will provide your project ID, project number, that's it. Okay, new project will be created. So each and every product in the GCP will be can be tracked from the project only, and billing also enabled from the project only. If you don't select a proper project, the project you cannot be able to work with any of the resources. And one more thing, you have to enable the billing only, otherwise you can able to unable to work with the GCP services. And while you are working with any of the service, there will be a API, you have to enable the API. All these things are linked to a project only, because all the tracking of the billing will be done from the projects. Okay, so this is one thing, guys. Okay, now once you have here, sir, if you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, either you can go to the left navigation menu, select that service. Like if you are working with the Google Cloud Storage, you can select here. No, you wanted to directly select it, you can directly search that particular service. You can also select from here. Okay, Google Cloud Storage. And after that, sir, there is a free trial status, how much amount of money that is left in your free trial status and how many days it is, you can able to see from here. Okay, and here this is where you can able to activate your Cloud Shell, sir. If we wanted to work with the Cloud Shell, nothing but a command line tool, where this is where the place you have to go and click on activate the Cloud Shell. When you click on activate the Cloud Shell, one more at the bottom you will be able to see a command line tool will be opened for us. It takes like almost 30 seconds. For the first time it can take 30 to 40 seconds. You see here a Cloud Shell terminal will be opened for us. Okay, so this is a we will see what is actually a Cloud Shell and what kind of a tool it is and how to an introduction to the Cloud Shell also I will tell you guys, but now let us not worry about that. And after that, this is where you will be able to see all the notifications when you create a bucket, when you delete a bucket, when you move something, you will be able to see here. And the settings, if you wanted to go to the project settings, you can go from here. And all the, if you wanted to add one more account, a sign out account, and you wanted to look at your account details, so from here you will be able to do it. So this is all about the interface of the Google Cloud, guys. In a Google Cloud, you will be able to have a navigation menu for selecting the each and every service, or go to the search box for selecting a proper service. And one more thing is like, you can select a proper project from here. Either you can select an existing project or create a new project. And here you can go to the project settings as well from here. Okay. And one more thing is like activate Cloud Shell. So you can able to see the Cloud Shell was activated. You will be able to see. So whenever you are working from the console, also the very first thing is like you select a project, right? Likewise, whenever you work from a Cloud Shell, also you select a proper project. Okay. So this project by default, this project is selected. How I know every project is tracked with the help of their project ID, guys. So this is your project ID, Arboreal Avatar, right? Here you see Arboreal Avatar. So this is your project ID. And if you wanted to select one more project from the Cloud Shell, so the thing here is like you have to mention this one, Google Cloud config set project, and that project ID you have to mention, so that you will be able to enter one more project. And here from the console, if you wanted to go to a one more project, you directly click on that one. So like how you are clicking on this one, you click on one more project, that project will be selected. So if you are working in that project, that means all the billing will be enabled to that particular project only. Okay, so this is what is all about the introduction to the GCP console as well as Cloud Shell, guys. And I want you to understand what is a Cloud Shell also now. Okay, I think, do I have somewhere the Cloud Shell information? No. No. Yeah, here it is. Yes. Okay, so what is a cloud? As I told you guys, if anyone wanted to interact with the GCP services, there are two ways. Okay, the very first thing is web user interface. Then the very next thing is command line tool, that either Cloud Shell terminal or an editor, Cloud Shell terminal or SDK. So these are the two ways that we can work with. And one more thing, what is a Cloud Shell? Because we know that console is a web interface. We know how the web interface works. But what does this Cloud Shell, sir? A Cloud Shell is a very small Linux operating system, guys. It is a command line tool. It has a 5 GB storage. Storage size is 5 GB, and it has a language support to SQL, Python, Go, Java, all of these things. If we wanted to work with the shell, we first activate it. After that, we select a proper project and use shell commands and Linux commands to interact with the each and every services. Okay, so this is what is a Cloud Shell, guys. You should not. You should understand that the Cloud Shell is a very small machine. When I say a very small machine, it does have a Linux operating system, and it is having only 5 GB persistent disk storage. And it has a language support to SQL, Python, Go, Java. Okay, so whenever you wanted to interact with any of the service from the Cloud Shell, you provide a proper command from the Cloud Shell to interact with that particular service. That commands will be available. I will tell you how to do that, because I have listed here. Okay, one by one we will see. We need not to hurry. We are not in a hurry, guys. So what we will do, so whenever I interact with any of the services, there are two ways I will tell you. For example, today I am working about a Google Cloud Storage. I will tell how to create a bucket from the console. I will also tell you how to interact with the Cloud Shell, how to interact with the Google Cloud Storage from the Cloud Shell also. Okay, two ways we will see. Now we understand that the interface, there are two ways that we can interact. One is console and via Cloud Shell. Now we will go to the Google Cloud Storage and try to create a bucket on the console.
Hello.
Yep.
I want doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So, what is the difference between this Cloud Shell, which are working with the Linux operating system, you told, no?
Yes.
What is the difference between this Cloud Shell and the SSH? During the computer engine we are creating now, so there we are getting into the SSH. The same screen is getting what difference is there?
Share interface where you will be able to interact with each and every service in GCP. And one more, this SSH terminal is only for that particular virtual machine, right? So you cannot interact with all the GCP services. If you want to interact with that particular virtual machine, what you provide some commands, you wanted to upload some file, you wanted to delete some file, you wanted to see some information, you wanted to access some information, you wanted to provide some permission. So all of those things are related to that particular virtual machine. Okay, there also you will be using a Linux commands, and those commands are also similar. But the thing is, like, it is only specific to that virtual machine. But here, Cloud Shell is a overall service or in general service or a primitive service where you can able to interact with each and every service in the GCP. All the resources, all the permissions, everything can be done from the Cloud Shell as well. So that is the main difference, guys. Okay.
Okay, sir. Then what is the purpose of SSH? Sir? We can directly interact with what are the commands we are giving in SSH?
No. So you have to understand that one more thing is like, if I wanted to interact, because see, a virtual machine, as I told you, you have to understand this thing as well. A Cloud Shell is a small machine. When I mention a small machine, it have only the 5 GB persistent disk storage. And when you go to the virtual machine will be having a lot of storage. Sir, I wanted to move a file from a file of 10 GB to a virtual machine. That I can do, but I cannot load it to the Google Cloud Shell, right? Because it has only 5 GB. When I say 5 GB, you can only store until 4.5 GB of storage only. So it's not possible. But when I say virtual machine, you can able to store any amount of data as per your storage requirements. If you have given a configuration of storage like 500 GB, you can store 500 GB also. You can store 1 TB also. According to your requirement, you create a virtual machine. But it is not. It is just a small machine to interact with this and that. But it is not for running a heavy things. Okay, even you go for a heavy complex things, it will not. It will struck, because it's a very small machine. But SSH terminal is a very, it's like your shell commands. Okay, you for example, you have a laptop, right? When you go to a laptop, you have a command line tool, right? That's like your SSH terminal. Okay, that means when you wanted to work with your laptop, you have a user interface that you go do this and that. But in the command line tool, you have a command CMD. When you enter a command called CMD in your search button, you will be able to open that command line tool. You can also work with from the command line tool from any of the services. Okay, when you wanted to work with any of the services in your local laptop, so if you wanted to work with this thing, that thing, you can able to work with. So that is like your SSH terminal. Okay, a full machine and its own everything will be controlled by SSH. Not only the SSH. If you open, for example, if your virtual machine is a Windows operating system, then you can again do with a user interface also. Okay, but if you have selected a Ubuntu or Debian, so then you can able to only work with the commands only in that case. So that is what that command line tool is, nothing but SSH terminal. Yeah.
Well, okay. Whether that G Cloud and GS Util, both commands will work in SSH.
Of course, yes, it will work. G Cloud commands will work, yes. But you have to import it before that. Okay, because SSH terminal is specific to that virtual machine, but it does not understand the Google Cloud. Even though I am working in a Google Cloud, it does not understand. So what you do, you import all the modules. Okay, when you import all the modules, it will work.
All the module fits.
So we will see in our upcoming classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, Google Cloud Storage we are seeing, right? So how to create a bucket and how to interact with the how to create a bucket, how to create a folder, and how to upload a file inside this Google Cloud Storage one by one we will see now. Okay. So for example, when you are inside a Google Cloud Storage, this is how the interface looks like. If you wanted to create a bucket, click on create bucket. Keep yourself muted, guys. Okay. Okay, when you click on a create bucket, so as I told you, there are few things that we have to remember while creating a bucket. Okay, first thing, while providing a name of your bucket, we have to pick a proper globally unique name. When I say globally unique name, no one has used so far this particular name as a Google Cloud Storage bucket. Okay, so some disturbance. 1 minute. Yeah. So, when I say globally unique name, so far no one has used this name as a Google Cloud Storage bucket. No one, when I say it's not me, it's not you, it's everyone. Whoever so far worked on the Google Cloud Storage, for example, I did not create a bucket with the name of the bucket called a bucket. Okay. But someone might have used it. Okay. So this bucket name is already taken. Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, something like that. If you give a normal name, it might have created by someone might have used this kind of a bucket name already. So you cannot be able to create it. So it should be a properly unique name so that you can able to give that to your bucket. So for now, I am going to give storage underscore bucket underscore resources. Okay, so this is the bucket. I have given a proper bucket name, which will not, I believe that which will not be used by anyone so far. Even though still this is the 10102 I will give. Okay, so this name no one has used so far. It is a globally unique name. Now after that, once you have given a proper name to the bucket, click on continue. And this is where we have to worry about a location. So I want you to understand about a location, sir. While you are creating a bucket, the very important thing you have to remember is one of the important thing is location, guys. Okay. I'm hearing a lot of noise. 1 minute. Okay, location. So there are three there are three types of locations available inside when you wanted to create a bucket. One is region, one more is dual region, one more is multi-region. Okay. So these are the three things, sir. What is the difference? One by one we will see, sir. Very important thing, let us try to understand it. Sir, you select a region. Sir, this is your bucket. You selected one region and you created a bucket. Inside a bucket, you have one file. Okay, that file is sales.csv. You have uploaded this file. Okay. Now tell me, you selected a region called some US. Okay. Instead of that name, instead of names, I will say region 1. Okay, you selected one region, you selected one region, and inside you have created a bucket, and inside the bucket you have uploaded a file. Okay, so what happens if this region crashes? What happens? Think about it like this, guys. What happens if this region has a failover? All the data related to whatever the bucket, the data inside the bucket will lose, right? So this may happen for the single region. When you select a single region, if we do not know, there can be no failovers, but in any case, if there is a failover happened at that particular region, all the data inside your bucket will be gone. Okay, so that is the problem with the region. So that is the reason it has a, and one more thing is like a latency will be there, and data loss may happen. Data loss may happen because you have only selected. There is no replication. I would say instead of that one, no replication. Instead of that one, I will say no replication. Okay. So these are the two things. There will be a latency. When I say latency, you wanted to see here. You wanted to get the data from this particular bucket. There are plenty of the people need to have the data from this bucket. but the thing is like many people are accessing. That is the reason there is a latency because of a single region. So there will be a latency and there is no replication. When I say replication, we will see in a dual region, guys. Okay. Now, if the failure happens, the data will be losing. So I don't want it to go such scenarios. What I will do is like, I will go to the dual region. In a dual region, what happens is like, whatever the data that you have uploaded, right? It will be replicated to the one more region, sir. What it will do, sir? It will be replicated to the one more region. Okay, in a dual region, you have created a bucket with a region 1 and you have selected a dual region. So whatever the file you uploaded, sales.csv, that data, say similar data, the same data will be replicated. One more copy of the same data will be available in the region 2 because it is a dual region. So one more region will also be there. The data will be copied or replicated to the one more region. Okay, it is replicated to the one more region. What is the advantage, sir? If region 1 failure happens or if the region 1 crashes, your data will be available all the time. Your data will be available from this region 2. Okay, so this is what is an advantage. Okay, this is what I am calling as a replication.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
If we delete region 1, data will be deleted in region 2.
Both, yes, yeah, region 2 as well. It's if you intentionally delete a data, that means you don't need it, right? So that means data will be deleted in both the regions because unnecessarily you don't want it to pay the extra charge, right? You intentionally delete it means both the places it will be deleted. But if you wanted to recover it, that there's a chance. Okay, but if you upload a one file and at any cost you don't want it to lose the data, you go for a dual region. And what is the advantage? Here it is less available, but here less latency. Replication is there and availability is there. Okay, the data is highly available. And one more thing, sir, again, one more thing. When I say dual region, I am getting these kind of benefits from the dual region. What if I go to the multi-region? So the multi-region will be selected by those companies who don't want to lose the data at any cost. At any cost, you are running a business, very important for you. You have a data that you don't want it to lose at any cost. In that case, you select a multi-region. In a multi-region, the data will be replicated between 2 or 3. Sorry, the data will be replicated between 2 or 3 regions. The data will be replicated between what, sir? 2 or 3 regions. Okay, so this is the region 3. More than 2 regions, sir. So this is an advantage. What is this one, sir? At any cost. The requirement is very simple. At any cost, because the cost will be increasing from the region to the multi-region. Because I will tell you, because when you get a lot of benefits, the cost will also be there like that, right? So when you go to a multi-region, the data will be replicated to the multiple regions, and the data will be highly available. Okay, the data will be highly available. There is no latency at all. We can say minimal latency. The latency is very minimal. Okay, comparatively very less, very less latency, sir. And one more is replication is between different regions, more than 2 regions. Here only 1 region, sir. There replication is only 1 region, but replication between more than 2 regions, and data will be highly available. So this is a question in the interviews also. How do you make your data will be highly available? So I select a multi-region option so that my data will be highly available all the time. Okay.
Here also in any region, if you delete data, it will replicate to all the region. in multi-region.
In a multi-region also, it's only about, sir, intentionally you wanted to delete it, it will be deleted every place, sir. First thing. Okay, intentionally you delete it in one location, it will be deleted everywhere. But if you upload a file, but you thought that if for example, think if there a failover happens to this region, that was nothing but unintentionally the data is not available. In that case, your application will be connected to this data, even though this region is also not available. Your application or your data processing system will be connected to this one. That's the reason data can be highly available. Okay, so this is what it happens. For example, when your application is running or when your data pipeline is running, you have connected to this one. Okay, you have connected to this one, your application or a pipeline, whatever it is. When you connected to this one, if this region in a multi-region, this bucket is not, the data inside this the file is not available, or this region is not available, automatically it will be connected to this one, because it is a multi-region. Automatically it will be connected. This is the reason all the time the data will be highly available. Okay, but in this one, if this region is not available, it will be connected to this one. If this is not available, it will not be connected to that one. That is the reason the data is less available here. Yeah. Any questions, sir?
Sir, if any changes made in region 1, it will be applicable to others.
Of course, yes, yes. So it is just a replication, sir. Whatever you do, the changes in the region 1, it will be replicated. Okay, you cannot see it. Okay, sir, where I can see my replication, you cannot see it. Okay, automatically backend GCP will be taking care of it. This is a concept. So what do you have to understand from this concept, sir? What I can get from this concept, if you ask me, I will say like this. So if you wanted to, the cost will be less here, less cost. Okay, I will say L. Here medium cost, it is a high cost. Not high, but the cost will also be lesser, but comparatively. Okay.
Sir, if I am accidentally updated any files and I want to reverse that one, whether it is possible.
You wanted to revert the changes?
Revert.
You can go for the object version. We will come to that topic. Yeah. Yeah. So what is the concept that, what is the thing that you have to get from this location is that, so according to your requirements, sir, I wanted to, it's okay for me if it is less available also, that is fine. I don't need a replication. I want a less cost. You can go for region. No, at any cost, I don't want it to lose the data, or at any cost, the data to be available all the time. In that case, you can go for this one. Okay, so this is what is all about the location, sir. Now you understand that what is the mean by the multi-region, dual region, single region. Dual region highly available across largest area. Dual region highly available across 2 regions only. And lowest latency with a single region. So this is what it is. Okay. Now if I select a multi-region, the cost will be, you'll be able to see here, guys. Okay. And if I select a dual region, I will select 2 regions, and the cost will be like this. And if I select a multi-region, the cost will be little less. There is no replication cost here. Okay, so this is how it works. So as per my business, I don't want it to lose the data at any cost, so I will go with the multi-region, and inside that I select Europe or Asia specific or this one. For now, I am going with the US multiple regions. So this is the region I have selected. Inside that US, the data will be replicated to the multiple regions. Okay, so this is all about a location type. Once you have selected a proper location, click on continue. And this is where is your storage class. Sir, what does that mean by storage classes? You set here, you look at here. In a storage classes, we have 4: standard, nearline, hold line, and archive. Okay, let us see what is this. Okay, storage classes. Okay. So in a storage classes, you have to, in a storage classes, we have 4, sir. One is standard storage class, nearline, whole line, archive. Okay, so let us not worry about these four, but let me tell you, sir, I have a requirement. I have a requirement that I am uploading a one file to my one of my bucket, and that file I wanted to access it frequently. Okay, what you are doing, sir? You have created a one bucket. You have created a one bucket, and inside that bucket you are uploading some file called sales.csv. Okay, this file you wanted to access it frequently. In that case, you selected the bucket storage class as a standard. Frequently accessed data. Okay, what is this one, sir? If you wanted to access this file frequently, then you can go for the standard storage class of this bucket. Okay, this is your bucket. Okay, this is one thing. And nearline, sir, you don't want it to access it frequently. Your manager told that we are going to access this file, or we are going to retrieve this file, or we are going to work with this file once in a month. Okay, once in a month, then you can go for a near line. Okay, so this is what is. And one more thing is like, no, it is not frequently, it is not once in a month, we are just accessing once in a quarter. Then you can go for a cold line. And one more is, you can say once in a year. What is this? What are the advantages that we are getting? I will tell you, sir, but just understand the concept. Okay, so if you have a file inside a bucket, if you are accessing all those files inside that bucket frequently, you can select that bucket as a storage class of standard. Okay, no, if you are not frequently accessing it, if you are only wanted to access it once in a month, you can select as a nearline as your storage class, or cold line as your storage class for once in a quarter, archive for once in a year. Okay, so this is all storage classes, guys. Let me show you one advantage diagram. You will be able to understand it. 1 minute, let me open that. Somewhere I got it. Okay, yeah. Last time when I was explaining, this is the thing. Okay, the advantage is something that I will tell you. These are the 4 storage classes, guys. The storage class for standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Okay, you will be able to see here. As I told you, see the advantage is that, so when you are accessing frequently, the transaction cost is very less and the storage cost is very high. Okay, and when you are accessing it once in a year, the transaction cost is very high, the storage cost is very less. So this is the advantage that you are getting. Okay, what does that mean, sir? You have to be very smart when you are selecting a storage class. Okay, unnecessarily you don't want to pay extra money here. Okay, there is a cost associated. I want you to understand one more point. Where is my paint? There are 2 costs associated. When you interact with a service, any service, there are 2 costs associated, guys. If you interact with and if you are working with any of the resource in the GCP, and not only in the GCP, even you go to the AWS Azure also, there are 2 costs associated. One is storage cost. One more is compute or retrieval cost. Okay, these are the 2 costs associated. Okay, one is storage cost, one more is retrieval or compute cost. For Google Cloud Storage, it is a storage cost will be there, retrieval cost will also be there. Storage cost is nothing but for storing this particular data inside a bucket, that is a storage cost. When you retrieve it, so this is when you access it. That is a transaction. You are doing some kind of a transaction, right? You are trying to load this data to some other data processing system. That a transaction cost or that retrieval cost will also be there. So that is what we are talking about. So for the standard storage class, so like this one, the transaction cost is high. The standard transaction cost will be increased here. Transaction cost will be increasing. Okay. So the transaction cost will be increasing from the standard to the archive. That means, what does that mean, sir? When you are accessing once in a year, when you access that file, the cost will be very high. But when you are frequently accessing the data, the cost will be very less. Why, sir? Because again, there is one more cost, that is storage cost. Okay. Storage cost will be very high here. Storage cost is very high here. Okay. So the storage cost is for frequently accessed data. You have to, the data to be available all the time when you frequently access it. That means the storage cost for that particular storage class is higher, because when you frequently accessing it, the data to be highly available, to make the data to be highly available all the time, the storage cost is increases. Okay. And one more thing, archive. When I say once in a year only, because when I am retrieving it once in a year, the data need not to be available all the time. So for the making not available all the time, I don't need to pay extra money. The storage cost is very lesser here. But the transaction cost is, after a very few many days, you are trying to retrieve the data, retrieve the entire data. That means the transaction cost is very high. Okay, so this is how the benefit that you are going to get it, guys. Okay, one is transaction cost, one more is storage cost. Okay, transaction cost will be very high for the archival storage class, and storage cost will be very high for the standard storage class. Okay, this is something that you have to understand. Okay, any questions are on this one? Okay, so this is something that I want to understand. Okay, 1 minute. Some more things are also there. I guess storage classes, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. So this is what is about storage classes. Now you understand that what is a storage class, guys. Now you have to, you can also read it here. Best for short-term storage, frequently accessed data. Best for backups and data accessed less than 1 a month. And best for disaster recovery, less than once in a quarter. Best for long-term digital preservation data accessed once in a year. Okay. So according to your requirements, sir, you are creating a bucket. That bucket is only for the disaster recovery. That means you are only accessing the data once in a quarter. You go for this code line. Sir, I am creating a bucket. I wanted to use that bucket files inside a bucket all the time. You go for the standard. Sir, I wanted to create a bucket for the backup purpose. Then you can go for the nearline. Okay, so this is what you have to do, sir. Okay, so this is all about storage classes. Now I wanted to access the data frequently. For that reason, I am selecting a standard as my storage class. Okay. Sir? Yes.
At initial stage, if we have chosen achieve, immediately if we want to choose the data,
correct.
Will it be
very good question? Yeah, very good question. So initially you have selected as an archive as your default storage class, but you later some point of time you understood that this is not going to be an archive. You wanted to access the data very frequently. That's your question, right? So you can make it. You can convert a storage class from one to the another according to your requirement. Later also you can edit the bucket. So this is an editable option.
So if we edit also, we can pay in the middle also.
We can, sorry, the cost will be until that time. For example, you for 1 month you have mentioned it as an archive. The cost will for 1 month will be only for that particular archive storage class. And after next month you have selected it as a standard as your storage class, the cost will be from there. Whenever you select the standard, from there the storage class will be according to the standard storage class. And our Google will be Google Cloud is very smart enough to understand that how you are selecting the storage classes. Not only that, how the computing and how the resources you are using, how much data. Even though you create a bucket, you don't upload anything. Google Cloud will understand that you just created a bucket, you have not uploaded anything. That means you are not using any resources. There won't be any cost. And you selected a storage class, this one, that one, this one, that one, but you don't uploaded anything, there is no cost at all. But if you uploaded one file inside a bucket and you selected a standard for 1 month, and after second month you selected archive, the cost will be according to that. Standard, the cost will be standard into some 10 rupees or some 100 rupees, standard into 10 plus archive into some 150 rupees is total equals to for 2 months, that is a charge of that. So that is how it is. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So do it require downtime to change that class of the storage?
There is no downtime. Yes. I mean, there will be a little latency, but it is very less. Yeah.
Okay.
When you select one storage class from one that to that, how much time it wouldn't take much time. But if it is a lot of data, even though a lot of data also, it wouldn't take much time. In the back end, if there can be like 1 or 2 seconds, it would be in milliseconds, guys. It would be in milliseconds. The downtime will be. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that is one thing. That's those 2 questions are very good questions, guys. Even I wanted to cover that. Yeah. So that is one thing. And we have selected, now I have selected a standard because I wanted to frequently access the data. So that is something that I have selected. Now, this is where is a very important thing, because I wanted to control the files inside my bucket. Very important thing, because everyone wanted to worry about security, right? So this is where we are securing our buckets and files. So very important topic. Please be focused on this one, guys. Okay. So the thing here is, where I will keep it here. Okay. Okay, or I'll keep it here somewhere. Yeah. So the thing here is access control. What is this access control? I want you to focus on this point now. Sir, I have created one bucket. Inside that bucket, I have many files like sales.csv. I have schema.json. Sir, I have a project confidential file, confidential dot some text file, and there are plenty of other confidential or somewhat I would say sensitive data, from customer sensitive data, sensitive underscore data dot some word file or whatever it is, sir, word file. Okay. So these are the files inside my bucket. Consider that this is your bucket. Okay, you have created a bucket, and after you created a bucket, you have uploaded these many files inside the bucket. Okay. There is one project manager, or there is a client. Okay. Think that there is a client. There is a data engineer. So we should understand the client has to access what kind of objects inside a bucket, and we should understand the data engineer has to access what kind of files inside a bucket. So that is what told. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah.
That storage class you explained last time.
Yes. Yes.
So that storage class is applicable for each and every file in the bucket, or it is applicable as a whole for a bucket?
It's to the bucket. So we are not worried about a file, and it's only for the entire bucket. Okay. So when you select that file, when you select the bucket as your storage as standard storage class, all the files inside that bucket are applicable to the bucket. I mean, it follows the bucket level. So that means that means if it is a standard, the file is also a standard storage class. Okay. So there is proper word for that. So I forgot that. Inherited. Okay. So inherited. So when you select a storage class for the bucket as a standard, it inherits all the files will also inherited from the bucket permissions. That means standard it will get from the files also. So if it is a bucket is a standard, all the files inside the bucket is also a standard. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now back to the access control, guys. So in access control, so we are talking about two things, but now let me create a context for that. So I have created a bucket, but that bucket will have these many files. Okay, these many files inside it. Now we have to understand there is a client and there is a data engineer. So the data engineer has to access only sales.csv, schema.json, and it should not have access to the project confidential files and sensitive data. He should only access these two files. Okay, he should only access this file and this file. Okay, but inside a bucket, the data engineer has to access few files inside a bucket, only few files. What about a client? A client has to access all the files inside a bucket. All the files inside a bucket. Now, how do we achieve it? This is a very good question. How do we achieve it, sir? I have a bucket. That bucket is having a plenty of the files, but few of the files has to provide access to few people. But some people needs an entire access to all the files inside a bucket. So how do we achieve it? So that is where the concept of access control come into the picture. There are two concepts here, sir. One is, so for example, for the data engineer, what I will do, I will provide access at rate object level. Okay, what I'm doing, sir, for this data engineer, he should only access few files. So that's the reason I will provide him access to the object level. So I will go to this file, I will select his username and provide access to him. I will go to this particular file, I will select his username, again I will provide access. So object level permissions I will provide to him. Okay, so that he will be having access to that objects, whoever has provided a permission. Okay, and what about this one? So this one is access at rate bucket level. So when I provide a bucket level access, he can able to access anything inside that bucket. Okay, when I say a bucket level access, so I am providing access to the entire bucket. That means whatever the files inside that bucket, he will be having access. So these are the two concepts, sir. Okay, access at rate bucket level, access at rate object level. So this is what in other terms access control called as a uniform as this is fine grained. Okay, the name it is saying that uniform access to the entire files inside a bucket. That is nothing but a access at rate bucket level. Fine grained, the access will be a granular access to the specific objects inside a bucket. So this is what is nothing but a access control, sir. Any questions? So this is a client need to have. I have given two specific names as a client and data engineer. Tomorrow in your project, when you're working in a Google Cloud project, you have to understand who needs to have a what kind of access. If a project manager is there, he should have access to the entire project. If the data engineer one is there, he should only access a sales.csv. There is a data engineer too, he should access a schema.csv. So you should provide a access control according to your business requirement or according to your access permissions. Okay, so this is how you are going to achieve access at rate bucket level, access at rate object level. That can be achieved with the help of what concept, sir? Uniform as well as fine grained. Okay.
Yeah. Once the object is created, it will have which type of access, sir?
By default, if you provide a bucket level access, that means it's not like that. It's not that the question is not like that, but it can be like this. So for example, you created a bucket, and while you are creating a bucket, you will select something. Okay, you see here, while you are creating a bucket, you will select here whether it is the access control needs to be uniform or fine grained. Okay, you select here. According to that, if you select a uniform, it ensures the uniform access to all the objects inside a bucket. Okay, if you select a fine grained, specific access to the individual objects by using object level permissions. Okay, so this is how. So sir, for example, if I upload a file to a bucket, what is the access? By default, it is, there is no default. You select here. Okay, when you select uniform access to all the entire files. You select a fine grained access to the specific objects. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay.
Then what is the difference between the ACL and IAM?
Yes, that is where. But the concept is something that this is a concept. A concept wise, controlling a bucket level access will be done with the help of the uniform, and controlling object level permissions with the help of the fine grained. But how to achieve it? That is a very good question, right? So how to achieve it, sir? That can be achieved with the help of the IAM. For uniform, IAM, and fine grained will is ACLS. So we will see this in action. Okay, what is this object level? ACL is nothing but an access control list. Okay, so let me tell you here also. Let me mention here somewhere we are writing.
At any point of time, we can edit browser. You can edit the.
Yeah, we can edit it. That's not a problem. You selected today as a fine grained, but tomorrow you wanted to make it as a uniform. That is fine. You can do it. Okay, so this can be achieved. Uniform can be achieved with the help of the IAM, sir, and this can be achieved with IAM plus ACLS. Sorry. Okay, so when I say fine grained, you can actually provide an entire bucket access as well as object access, guys. This is not, so it is a next level. Fine grained is a next level to the uniform. So when I say you can provide both bucket level access, you can provide with help of the IAM, and ACLS, nothing but an access control list. So object level permissions also you can provide it here. Okay, so we will see in action how it is in next 2 minutes. Okay, I think we are up to time, but so shall we continue tomorrow, guys? But you understood the concept here, right? The concept is something that the access control, there are two concepts. One is uniform, one is fine-grained. In a uniform, you provide access at rate bucket level. In a fine-grained, you provide access to a specific objects to a specific person. Okay, you have to understand specific object to a specific person, because if you understand that specific, when I select that file tomorrow,